All right, picture this. It's World War II, the world's on fire. Nazi Germany is tearing through Europe and the Soviet Union bleeding out on the Western Front. Now imagine you're a German soldier trying to catch a few hours of sleep. It's dark, cold, silent, then suddenly you hear the soft whooshing sound like a broom slicing through the air. Then boom, bombs drop, chaos erupts. And here's the kicker. The pilots who just ruined your night, they're young Soviet women flying wooden biplanes in the dead of night without radar, without parachutes, and with engines barely strong enough to stay airborne. They were called the Night Witches. And yeah, this is one of the most badass war stories you've probably never heard of.
It's history on repeat.
Hell yeah.
Real quick before we get started, guys, in case you haven't noticed, my first language is not Russian or German. So please forgive me because I am probably going to absolutely butcher some of these names and events. So yeah, this pronunciation of certain words is going to be a little rough. Let's break it down. These women were part of the 588th Night Bomber Regiment, an all-female unit of the Soviet Air Force formed in 1942. They were recruited by Marina Raskova, basically the Soviets' version of Amelia Earhart, if Amelia had more medals and zero tolerance for Nazi bullshit. When Raskova pitched the idea of an all-female combat squadron, the Soviet high command was like, I mean, we want to say no, but we're desperate, so fuck it. And just like that, 3 women's regiments were formed, but the 588th, they became legends. Now the planes they flew, the Polikarpov. Now the planes they flew, the Polikarpov.
Today, Junior?
Now the planes, they flew the Polikarpov PO2, a 2-seater biplane.
Jeez, it took you long enough.
Which I'm going to refer as the PO2 from now on because I am not saying that name anymore. A 2-seater biplane, originally meant for crop dusting, made of plywood and canvas, an open cockpit, and a max speed of 90 miles per hour, slower than most modern cars. It was loud, flimsy, and freezing cold. If you sneeze too hard, it might fall apart. But these women, they turned those flying shoeboxes into weapons of war. Their strategy was brutal in its simplicity. Fly in low, kill the engine before the target, glide silently through the night, drop the bombs, and disappear before the spotlights could catch them. That creepy whoosh sound German soldiers described, that was the PO2 gliding in for the kill. No engine, no warning, just death from the dark. The Germans started calling them Nachthexen, night witches, because that sound reminded them of broomsticks. Some soldiers even believed the Soviets were training women in black magic. Spoiler, it wasn't witchcraft. It was guts, genius, and pure Soviet spite.
I would turn my back on God himself for Mother Russia.
And they didn't just fly once a night. These women ran 8 to 9 to sometimes 10 missions every single night. Just a map, a compass, a stopwatch, and the moon. They navigated through flak and tracer routes, wearing men's uniforms cut down to their size, hands freezing to the controls, and most of them just age 17 to 26. Just a squadron of young, furious, estrogen-filled women, hell-bent on killing you. Kind of like my wife when I say some dumb shit. A squadron of wives. Moving on.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
One of their most legendary missions, the Battle of the Caucasus, in 1943, the Germans had locked down a crucial mountain pass. The Red Army needed it back. Enter the 588. The terrain was brutal, cold, mountainous, and barely navigable during the day, let alone at night. Still, the Night Witches launched 18 sorties each. That's 18 takeoffs, bombing runs, and landings in one night. Nadezhda Pova, one of the regiment's top aces, flew over a dozen herself. One of her planes came back with 42 bullet holes. She patched it up and took off again. That relentless bombing helped punch through the German lines and turn the tide of that sector. And that is just one chapter in this book of their badassery missions. Fast forward to 1944, the Belarusian offensive. The Night Witches unleashed psychological warfare like pros. They didn't just hit a target once and go home. They came back every 15 to 20 minutes, dropping a few bombs each time, keeping German troops in a state of fear and panic and total exhaustion. One German POW told his Soviet captors, "We thought we were surrounded by a vast number of aircraft. We heard that sound every night. We didn't sleep for weeks." In reality, it was maybe 6 or 7 planes. That's the power of relentlessness. Not high tech, not heavy force, just tear in 90-mile-per-hour intervals.
Relentless. Forever unsatisfied.
They also showed incredible bravery outside the cockpit. In 1943, Lieutenant Yekaterina Ryabova and her navigator were hit mid-air. Engine dead, no power, no comms, just darkness. But instead of panicking, Ryabova glided the plane down exactly like she practiced. She landed in a moonlit field behind enemy lines. They hid in the woods for over a day, dodging German patrols until Soviet troops finally found them. They returned to base and flew again that week. Just another day for the Night Witches. Or take Irina Sabrova, one of their most seasoned pilots. In 1944, during a mission, she flew wide and low on purpose to draw enemy fire so her squadron could glide in safely to drop their bombs. Her plane was hit hard, the wing completely shredded, but she brought it back without complaint. By the end of the war, she had flown over 1,000 missions, more than anyone else in her regiment. And by the war's end, the Night Witches had flown together over 30,000 missions and dropped more than 23,000 tons of bombs, and became the most decorated female unit in Soviet history. Nadezhda Popova, yeah, her again, flew 852 missions. She was shot down multiple times. She kept flying. She once said, "Every time I made it back, I thought, how did I survive that?" Same, Nadezhda, same. 23 of them were awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, the USSR's highest military honor. And yet, despite of all this, they still face sexism and mockery. Their planes were outdated, their gear was hand-me-downs, their competence was questioned, but their results, unmatched. After the war, the 588th was disbanded. Many of the women returned to civilian life as teachers, engineers, mothers. Their story wasn't widely known outside the Soviet Union for decades. But now, the legend of the Night Witches is flying again, louder, prouder, and more badass than ever. They weren't just pilots, they were warriors, rebels, trailblazers. They flew in darkness so that others could sleep in peace. Unless you're the Germans. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today on History on Repeat. If you like this story, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more laid-back deep dives, and drop a comment if there's anything I missed or if you have another story you want me to cover. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's history on repeat.
Hell yeah.